Welcome to the Dork Forest. Jackie and her pals will never bore us. Shameless confessions
about our obsession
will make us laugh and smile. So let's explore the Dork Forest and dork out for a while.
Hi, it's Jackie Kashian. Welcome to the Dork Forest. It's the intro. This is where the credits and our monthly sponsor is mentioned. He's a good egg. It's Car D'Angelo over at Earth 2 Comics is sponsoring the Dork Forest this month. Earth 2 Comics is in Sherman Oaks. It's also in Northridge, California. And if you go into either one of those stores and you mention that you are a ranger of the Dork Forest, you will get 10% off your purchases. Very exciting. I love Earth 2. Very, very supportive staff. They can help you find stuff. If you don't know what to get, you can sort of describe the kind of things that you like to read. And I don't know, if you go to the Sherman Oaks one, they might even tell you what Maya and Andy's pull list is. And then you can know more than you need to know about what kind of comic books to get. But Earth 2, super friendly staff, and they have everything. And if they don't have something in one store, they will send away to the other store and hook you up. And I recommend that you all go there. And I recommend that you mention the Dork Forest because then you get 10% off. There's the ad. In other news, JackieKashian.com, DorkForest.com, TheDorkForest.com, AllThingsComedy.com is the podcast network that the Dork Forest is on. And there's a lot of great podcasts over there. If you're looking for more pods, there you go. My stand-up and live Dork Forests are on JackieKashian.com. There's a chance to buy merch. There's a chance to go to the Amazon banner and buy whatever you want from Amazon, and I get a kickback. The Dork Forest gets a kickback. And other than that, there's t-shirts and CDs and the calendar. Oh, and the donation button, of course. Everyone should give me $100 a year. Do what you can. If you have to give it to me in $4 increments, you're going to have to do the math because I don't know how to set that up. I've asked Mark Maron. He's told me twice. I still haven't done it. Anyway, let's get into the show. It's a good one. Hey, welcome to the Dork Forest. It's Jackie Kashian. I am sitting with Chemda, who is from New York and is in a podcast called Keith and the Girl. Welcome to my home.
Hey, it's a lovely home.
It is adorkable, is it not? Huh? How adorkable is it?
I'm jealous.
Well, that's because you live in New York, probably in some sort of theater trunk.
Yeah, you have outdoor space that belongs to you.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Or at least we have us in the bank at this time. That joke never gets old, huh? Actually, to mention the banks makes me want to line them up and shoot them. So let's not talk about the banks at this time.
You got it.
All right. So
I am coming back when your tomatoes grow in, and I'm going to make a salad with some of the mint you have.
We actually have cherry tomatoes on the side that you'll be taking with you.
Oh,
there
really?
You go. Yeah.
I love you.
There you go. That's, do you know what that's a sign of? That might be your dorkdom. The tomatoes might be your thing. Fresh tomatoes anyway, right?
Oh, yeah. I eat them like apples.
Yeah. Yeah. They're the loveliest of all foods.
They're my favorite fruit and vegetable.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Nice work.
Yes.
Chemda, well, I have this to say. First of all, your name is going to wrestle with me for about an hour here. But we've never met. You're coming in town for the LA Podcast Festival, right?
Yes.
And so this will drop after the LA Podcast Festival.
That's fine. I'll still be around, and so will Keith and the Girl.
Exactly. So will Keith and the Girl. Yeah. And is it keithandthegirl.com?
Yes.
And what do you guys, you are the girl.
Yeah.
Keith would be Keith.
Keith Malley, yeah.
Yeah. We're going to record with him separately. This is nice to separate you two because you guys talk to each other all the time.
We do, yeah.
Let's go separately. You get to talk about the thing you love a lot, and then we'll bring him on, and he can talk about the thing he loves a lot.
Yeah, and then tell me all his secrets.
Right.
Yeah.
You could listen to them.
Totally.
And there's never any editing in the Dork Forest.
Oh boy, I love that.
Unless there's something distinctly horrifying that you said. Like if you've decided to shoot your career in the foot, I might talk to you briefly about, do you really want that story?
That's nice of you. We don't do that.
I know nobody does that, and I don't ever do it either because nobody's ever really done it. But it's.
No, I mean we don't edit it out when somebody shoots their career.
Right. You're like, oh no, this is going to be good. This is good, and it's one of the reasons
Sorry
why
that you said that.
But you said it.
Mm-hmm.
I know it just, and no one's ever said anything that I've had to edit out.
Oh.
It's mostly just ums and uhs, and I do a notes section. It's a fascinating story. Why are you interviewing me? Here we go. Let's talk. So you know Ophira Eisenberg.
Yeah.
And you noted that we have kind of the same voice.
I was amazed. And then I noticed that you guys did a show in January. And I said, how would anyone be able to tell who's who? And I thought maybe I was being some weird form of racist, biased, whatever prejudice,
that you were possibly being punked or something was happening? It's because
I don't,
or just all women sound alike. What?
No, but your cadence is similar. Your tone is similar.
My father sleeps around. I mean, she is younger than I am. She might be.
I mean, I love Ophira. I don't know anyone who wouldn't love Ophira.
No, she's a good egg. She's good people, right?
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. So, you live in New York.
I fell in love with you right away.
Right, because just by association.
Yeah.
Where in New York do you live?
I live in Queens.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
All right. Is there an Italian ice? Well, the only time I've been to Queens, I had an Italian ice. And it was back in 1986. So
we can find you some, yeah.
It might have been 1990. There we go. That sounds a little bit better. 86 makes everyone go, I wasn't born in 86. And you're like, well, how dare they not be born? But so you live in Queens, and how long have you lived in New York? Did you grow up in New York?
Since I was 4. I was born in Israel, and my family came over. I was 4. My younger brother was 1. My older brother was, I think, 6.
Nice.
And I don't know how a family does that.
Starts over and just takes children and goes to a new country?
Yeah, they didn't know the language.
Right.
But let's go there.
Right. Yeah. My theory on immigration, because my grandparents, all of them, both sides, came over, and many of them were grumpy for a long time because it's a pain in the ass to move.
Yeah, and it's
just ballsy stuff. And I always think to myself about immigrants, you're like, that's why you got to give everybody a generation or two to melt, because it's such a pain in the ass. Because nobody ever moves because things are going well.
You know what's weird is, and I, as you were talking, I'm like, I don't even know why they did it. It was going well for them in Israel.
They've been lying to you. That's what it is. Because the thing is there's not a woman right now sitting in the Philippines going, I'm a dentist and things are going really well, but what I want to do is I want to wash clothes for a living. That's not happening. That never happens. Unless, did both of your parents, sometimes university professors move.
No.
Were they professionals?
No, my mother was a stay-at-home mom, and she helped my father's business, sort of take off because she was a seamstress.
Okay.
She made all of our clothes until we moved to America, like made every single thing we wore.
Right. Underpants and everything?
Well, no, I guess not,
Why do I got to ruin it? Why do I got to ruin things?
Yeah.
That's not what the Dork Forest is about. It's a safe space.
Not socks either. So bubble bursted.
You're like, why are you so lazy? No, it's amazing if she made everything else.
But my father's line of work was clothing, and so he would sell wholesale clothing. She would make it at first, and he would go out and sell it. And he felt like, this is what I understand from him. I mean, he's a very stoic person, Middle Eastern, raised in Iran.
Right.
So I get very little information. So don't ask me any questions.
Very quiet, very stern.
Oh,
yes.
And so he said that he had reached a point in Israel where he knew he was doing well, but he knew he can do better in America because America's the promised land. And he did. He did really well here.
And he did really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's fine. And he's fine. Well, that's neat.
Well, now they're back in Israel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they retired in Israel.
That is nice.
Yeah.
Because that's the way to go, is I'm going to retire to Wisconsin. Don't think I won't.
Yeah?
No, I won't. Because
not with this garden.
Not with this garden, and not with Andy won't go with me to Wisconsin in the winter.
Why is that?
Because he was raised in California, and he wants no part of anything. He's like, snow for a weekend. We went to Sun Valley, Idaho, which is this sort of, it's where rich people go and bring their children to all dress in fur coats and learn how to ice skate backwards. And
did you dress in fur and ice skate backwards?
No, we saw those. We saw those folk. And I ice skated. I've been trying to learn how to ice skate backwards for years. I come from ice skating.
I do it. We'll go ice skating. I'll help you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, New York.
Yeah, New York, Wisconsin.
Sure.
You'd think I would know. And he got on. He put ice skates on, but he only went for the weekend. So your dorkdom, let's get to it.
Okay.
Is you said it's food. I think I could talk about food for an hour.
Yeah, I think I could talk about food for 10 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm obsessed, and it's actually bad. I think
it might be a problem. Is this a reveal? Is this an intervention? What's happening?
Lately, I've realized I think it is a problem. I think I am addicted to food. I think that I have several.
Allow me to move the candy in the
yeah.
shoes.
As soon as I see a candy dish, I'm like, okay, just focus. You didn't want candy before you saw that. Now,
right.
And so
I trick myself and tell me it's Andy's, and then I have it for people when they come over.
That's nice that you can do that.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't always work, but
right.
And I always have it when I record.
I tell Lauren, who is my fiance, to hide that kind of stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, if we want it in the house, it will not be in my face because, like I said, as soon as I see it, I crave it. So it's not like I don't crave it before I see it, but out of sight, out of mind helps me.
So how did it all begin? Is your mother an excellent cook?
Yes, she is. Yeah. I loved most of the things that she made. And one of the things that I do if I go back to Israel is request food.
Oh, right. Put it on the wish list. If you could make this nice.
Yeah.
I'm told the hummus in Israel is amazing.
I don't care about hummus.
Really? Chickpeas are not your downfall?
You know, I have made hummus, but I think I make it the Italian way. I roast red pepper, olive oil, and chickpeas.
You make a red pepper hummus.
Yeah. And so, but I think because I don't add the tahini, I think it is a Mediterranean tahini, but I think it's more Italian.
Okay. Yeah. Might be. Could be. So what's your favorite foods that your mom made? And can you duplicate them?
I can't make anything. She hated me in the kitchen. And I learned later that because she was so forced to be in the kitchen as she was growing up, and her, she had to do so many chores as a woman in her house, the men didn't have to do anything, that she was doing me a favor by letting me off the hook on these things. And I think it was between that and she's so anal as a person.
Right. She's bossy Magoo.
She's clean. And if you mess up her kitchen, and you're cooking, it's automatically messing up her kitchen. She's got a system. She wipes everything down as she goes,
You gotta clean as you go. Clean as you go is not a bad idea. It's always a good idea.
Sure. But you're clean as you go and my mother's clean as you go.
Might be different.
I would guarantee it. I can't live up to it. And so she's just like, scooch out of my way. You're making a mess. She hates when I cook in her kitchen. So I just go, well, then here's my list.
Here's my list of foods that I would enjoy that you would make.
Yes.
Have you gotten recipes from her at least? You should get recipes from her.
I asked her in my adulthood because one of my favorites is stuffed peppers. And I did ask her.
Stuffed bell pepper?
She makes stuffed everything. She used to make me stuffed tomatoes because I like tomatoes so much. Stuffed potatoes, stuffed, not bell peppers, those longer, more Spanish ones.
Right.
But
did you ever stuff zucchini?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My grandmother used to do stuffed bell peppers and stuffed zucchini.
So good.
And not tomatoes. Tomatoes I think were too expensive in Wisconsin for some reason, except for and we had a lot of canned tomatoes because she had a garden, my grandmother. And so she would can, and there was a lot of there was tomatoes and everything, forever,
lovely.
But it was great. But
Armenian food is similar to Middle Eastern or no?
Yeah, it's all the same.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's all, sort of, grape leaves and rice
and lamb
herbs
and pilaf and
so good.
And chickpeas and a bunch of parsley that's chopped up in things and
aside from the
beef.
Heavy carb, and they probably put a lot of oil in their stuff, it's not bad because mostly our heritage is very, start from scratch. I mean, I guess everybody's is,
Right. Because we all came from peasants.
Yeah.
And now the peasants, all the peasants eat processed food.
Isn't that a shame? Even in Israel, when I was a kid, everyone was skinny. I mean, I really think 90-something% of the population was just in a healthy weight.
Yeah.
And that's because no one was buying frozen food or anything like that. All the restaurants were making the food like my mother did.
And it takes so long to make that food.
Yes.
That to overeat these little things called manta that my grandmother would make. She'd be like, it takes me hours to make those. Stop eating those. And she was like, you've had enough.
I love ethnic people.
It's just slap your hand and move the hell on. And
I know the stop eating quote.
Right. Which is not always put in the nicest way.
Nope.
If ever.
No, never. Haven't you had enough? I heard a lot.
Yeah, that's great.
Aren't you done?
I think you're done.
Yeah.
Allow me to take your plate for you.
Yeah, I have reached over and they're like, nope.
Whack-a-mole. Fantastic. Yeah. That's what I'm looking for in life. So what are your favorite foods so you like the stuffed, she stuff them with like a ground beef?
Yeah, I think I don't necessarily.
Is it a ground meat?
Yeah.
Is it stuffed with meat?
It's ground beef. I was a vegetarian for a little while, and I don't think I need the ground beef. You could put it in or not.
It could just be a rice and veggie kind of mix.
Yeah, and I feel like I prefer that because when you don't have meat, you have to add more herbs and more saucy things
and flavor.
Yeah. And so you're not leaning on it. So it's a lot easier to cook with meat, but it's a lot more flavorful and more of a challenge and more herbaceous and more, and more green and colorful when you give somebody sort of a crutch, I guess. Well, not a crutch, a challenge.
They usually call them dolmades, which doesn't make sense because that's the word for stuffed instead of the word for wrap.
Grape leaves?
Yeah, my grandmother called them sarma, which is the Turkish word for wrap. And dolmades is it comes from a Turkish word for stuffed. And sarma
sounds very sexual.
It's very sexing, wrapping and stuffing things. Yes, sex. But she would
Thanks for making it sexier.
Right. Well, that's what I am about. It's all about me making things. But the sarma had there were two kinds of sarma. There was regular meat sarma, which was wrapped in grape leaves or cabbage leaves. And
she'd make
cabbage stuff. Yeah, cabbage sarma was amazing. I loved it.
Yes.
And then she would make vegetarian sarma, and she always called it yalanchi sarma. Yalanchi. I can't pronounce. I mean, I don't know enough of the language, but yalanchi is Turkish for liar.
Huh.
Which means, I thought there was going to be meat in this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no one was happy about my vegetarianism.
Oh, no?
No.
Not supportive?
You saw the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding. As
parts
an Armenian
yes.
person, you have to.
I saw parts of it.
Yeah.
It's, I was like, no, I've lived that. I don't need to see it.
Exactly. Every scene, I was like, yup. Yup. When are you going to have children with the saddest face in the world? I don't know how you're this upset about my uterus.
Right. It doesn't really, 7 billion people on the planet. I think it's going to work out. And do you either of your siblings have kids?
Both my brothers want kids and are planning on it very soon.
Are working on it?
Yeah. My older brother's married and my younger brother's in a committed relationship.
Okay. So they'll be fine.
That's what I'm
Except
thinking.
for that you're the woman, and so you have to pass on.
Yep.
Oi, with the poodles already.
Yeah,
And,
why am I not using this thing?
Right.
Lower than my boobs.
You've gotten this thing, this
gift.
this
Yes.
gift. Yes,
It scares
from
the life
Lord.
out of me.
Oh, that's
and it
hilarious.
That's what I think happens. It scares a life right out of you, and then boom, you have a baby.
Right, and then all of a sudden you have a child, and then you have a toddler, and then you have
Yeah, I mean, I love children. I can't wait for my brothers to have kids.
Right.
They have a built-in babysitter for life, but I feel like it's a little too much responsibility for me.
Did they live in Israel by your parents?
No.
Oh, who's the built-in babysitter?
Well, me.
Oh, you. Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Well,
good for
Michael, my younger brother, lives here, but is moving to New York around January. He's moving back. And Andrew lives in San Francisco, but I could visit.
You could visit. I have 4 older brothers and a sister, and
Wow.
many of them have children, and they have always considered me a built-in babysitter.
However,
And now done, and
Yeah?
which is unfortunate because as I love my nieces and nephews, I love.
Are they adults?
And, yeah, many of them. My oldest nephew is 34.
Amazing.
My youngest nephew is 3. So, and then I have great nephews and great nieces, and great niece and 3 great nephews, and so
Because you're the youngest.
I'm the youngest, and
Okay.
they're all breeding like crazy, and but my sister, who's just a couple of years older than me, has 2 kids, a girl and a boy. And I've babysat for them a couple of times. But the thing is I'm tired now.
That's fair.
I love them a lot. But, and she's like, well, you want to, you should spend more time. She's never said that, by the way. That is entirely a committee meeting going on in my own head.
That's funny. You could do the nighttime you're asleep babysitting. Where it's like
The one time
in
she
case
asked,
of emergency babysitting.
The only time she's ever asked me to babysit for her, for real, was the first time, and I babysat for 3 nights and 4 days, and the children were 3 and 9 months.
Wow.
Yeah, and she was like, "I need this for my relationship," and
Okay.
my sister has never asked me to do anything ever,
Wow.
and so I was like, "Of course."
Good for her and
And
good
then-
for you. That is just the sweetest, nicest, and the fact that she was upfront and honest, like, hey, let me fix this.
I need to fix something, and if
Nice.
we don't get away, it might end in tears. So let's fix this. And so it was good. And then she was like, "How about next year?" And I was like, "No, No, this was an emergency thing.
I was just nice.
Right.
Your turn to be nice.
Well, and she is always nice to me, and so it's completely insane. But when she came back and I told her, I didn't shake a baby, I didn't yell at a baby, I didn't hit a baby, and she was like, if you want a parade for not abusing my children, you will not be getting one, because that was our go-to. That was the basics, Jackie, we were hoping for. You will not be. You should not be proud of nothing. Of doing the very basic minimum.
I kept your child alive. Both of them.
Right. It reminds, I met this guy and he was a nice guy, but he and his friend got super drunk and they were making out and she passed out. And he my favorite part of the story is that he sat in a chair for 2 hours waiting for her to wake up because then maybe they would continue to make out and have sex. And the next day he sort of he was like half bragging about how he did not rape that woman.
Oh my God.
And his friends were like, no parade for that either, my friend.
Good job.
Good job.
Friends.
Yep.
Oh my God.
It's like every day I don't steal anything. Good for me. Parade.
Right.
And
a lot of parades happening in your neighborhood.
A lot of parades happening in your crazy, I would like a parade for graduating from grade school. And I think that's what caused it myself. But.
At least you know the source.
Yeah. My source is Gramication over here. Has got a theory. These kids today, they just want they want a certificate for everything. Yeah. Okay. So what else do they love? What else do you love that your mom made?
Oh, weird stuff. I just, I remember eating soup that had a chicken neck. I don't like that.
Right.
But I ate it as a kid. I was cool with it. And then I realized what it is and it just freaked me out.
Oh, so you've told her not to, but when you go to visit, you're like, will you make the chicken neck soup?
No. Shakshuka though?
Shakshuka.
Do you know what shakshuka is?
I do not.
Okay. So it involves a lot of tomatoes and everything that involves a lot of tomatoes is good for me. It's
Excellent.
Tomatoes and eggs.
And eggs.
Yeah. It's very huge Israeli breakfast.
Oh,
yeah.
Neat.
So if you're in Israel, most restaurants will have it. There's a
shakshuka.
Shakshuka.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's actually my older brother's favorite food, and his wife learned how to make it just because he talks about it so fondly.
Is it just fried or?
No, you basically stew tomatoes. You maybe put a little, of the usual olive oil, garlic, that kind of stuff.
Some herbs.
Put some herbs in there, yeah. And then you crack eggs, and usually you keep them with the yolk intact.
Okay.
And you put a lid on it so that it
steams.
Yeah. And that's it. But here's the thing. The last few months, it started happening about 2 years ago. I was like, what? I think 2 years ago. I don't know. I think it's been happening for a while. I'll eat eggs and I'll be like, what? Why am I eating eggs? This is so gross. But I like it. And I'll just keep eating. I'm like, don't think about it. Don't think about it. And I eat it. And I'm just like, that was great. Because it's such a good part of breakfast. Eggs, salad, potatoes, favorite. And so I'm just like, I can't. And then I really found out what an egg is. Because I always thought it was kind of gross what an egg is. But when I found out basically an egg is period, that's it. That's it. I can't do it anymore.
It's an ovum though, but it's not the period. It's a baby chicken that is not fertilized, right? It's not period. It's not the lining of the uterus of the chicken. Right? That's what your period is. Let me let you in on something. And, I don't know a lot of science, but I can do menstruation. But it just kind of grosses you out in the fact that it comes out of the poop chute of or the vagina chute of a chicken.
I think generally, if we didn't grow up with eggs,
right,
and at the age of 30, somebody handed you an egg, scrambled or otherwise.
How can you not have an egg? Did you see Julie and Julia?
No.
No, half of it was good. The part with Meryl Streep. The other part, that woman looked like a piece of work.
I did see that, and I agree with you.
Yeah.
The whole Meryl Streep part should have just been the entire movie. And that other girl was gratuitous. It was them trying to get the young ones into the movie theater.
Right.
They're like, this is modern day. And I was like, no, this other stuff is magnificent.
It's fantastic, the Julia Child stuff. And
excellent.
But the weird thing is that woman in real life had never had an egg until she started that blog.
What?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. It was the weirdest part of the movie for me, where I was actually pulled out of the movie to go, Who doesn't have an egg until they're 28 years old?
Yeah, who never had an egg put in front of them
or
social situations
or
as a child.
Made to eat it because we're all having eggs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She's never had a cooked egg. She'd had, in bread and stuff.
Right. That's the thing. I haven't eliminated that because I don't want to get, I'm not choosing to do this. It's just, I can't go back.
Well, it's hard. It's hard once you, although I'll tell you, one time chicken is my favorite food. I love chicken.
It's my least favorite.
Least favorite food.
Least favorite.
I'm working on a calendar, but one time I was biting into a piece of chicken, and when you pull off the skin,
yeah,
and you think to yourself, ugh, this is skin, and you start to creep yourself out about how it's skin, and then you go, God, I like it crunchy, and you move on.
Yeah,
and that's as close as I've come to. And I
have those moments often. I have those moments very often when I cut into meat. It's better to have ground stuff because it's a little less like flesh,
right?
Maybe,
right.
But when we make turkey for Thanksgiving, and I love having people over for food. I will make,
So you cook.
I love cooking. I don't have that much of an opportunity. We don't have a dishwasher, but we're getting one because that allows me to stretch. You know what I mean?
Because the sink just drives you?
It is insane. I try to use as few pots as possible, as few plates as possible, and it's not as comfortable. It's not as fun.
Just kind of a knee jerk. You're just like, I don't want to make this the biggest mess in the world, but maybe that's where it comes from.
Well, I just don't want to, the dishes pile so easily that, I try to keep it so much to a minimum that I just,
The only housework that does that to me is vacuuming. I hate it. I'm like a cat. I can't hear the vacuum cleaner.
Really?
I don't want the vacuum cleaner to be on ever. I'm like, please, I will pick up things by hand.
Oh my God.
We have an old timey carpet sweeper.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the closest I can get to a vacuum cleaner.
So you're not against the pulling and pushing of it.
No,
it's
the actual mechanics of it.
Funny.
And I'm like, I can't stand it. I don't like a dishwasher either because I'm like, they're not getting clean. But they're sterilized because they get super hot.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. And then it does it for me. And I'm not going to get a dishwasher that I have to rinse the hell out of first because I might as well be doing the dishes.
Right.
So we're saving up.
Right. You're saving up. You're going to get a dishwasher.
Yes.
Well, that'll be fun.
My dream. My mother should be proud of me.
Yeah.
But she's not. So one of my other favorite dishes that my mom makes is such a simple Iraqi breakfast that we would have only on Saturday mornings. That was tradition that they had on Saturday mornings, which is a boiled potato, boiled egg, and fried eggplant. You put that in a pita, and we'd have leftover, salad from the night before. Friday night dinner was
huge. It on top.
And you put it anywhere. And so eggplant always grossed me out. So my mom would squish it for me.
Yeah.
And then I'd squish the potato and egg, shove it all in there. I still want that, but I can't have eggs.
But the eggs are now, you boil you mean poached? Essentially, is it poached?
No, it's you
or
boil
a hard-boiled egg.
Hard-boiled egg.
Oh, a hard-boiled egg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's definitely peasanty.
Yeah. Potato, a hard-boiled egg, and some salad.
Eggplant
and some eggplant.
Splurge.
Yeah. That's found food. That's food where you're like, oh, what's in the kitchen?
Exactly.
Let's feed the kids this.
Yeah, but I'd look forward to it on Saturday morning.
Well, that's because it sounds very, very tasty. There's nothing wrong with that.
If I didn't grow up with it, I'd be like, you're crazy.
No. But all of those things are good, right? If you put them in a little salt and pepper and then you eat that.
Who puts potato in a pita? That is so carby. That is so much starch. Why are you doing that? It's only because you're afraid to die of hunger.
Of hunger. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what you gotta stretch that out.
Yeah.
We never, we rarely if ever ate potatoes when I was a kid. We only ate rice.
It's the best food. Oh, I already said tomato, but potato
and tomato.
Yeah.
You like a deadly nightshade. I'm surprised you don't like eggplant more.
I do like eggplant.
Now you like eggplant?
Yeah, I got over it. Now I like eggplant. I don't know a way that I wouldn't like eggplant.
All right.
Yeah.
We grew okra this year. And have you had that?
I have. My mother would make a thing with okra. Not thrilling.
Well, it's slidery.
Yeah.
And you have to, if you didn't have it as a child, there was a window where you're like, fine, then fry it and I will eat it.
Yes.
Then it'll be fine because it's not as slippery and gross.
Yeah,
but,
I could eat shrimp fried, but I'm not a big shrimp fan.
Yeah, I love chicken in all of its forms. What do you make?
I like to make the simplest food, and honestly, Rachel Ray taught me how to cook.
Okay.
Yeah, I would watch her.
So super fast too.
Yes, I don't like the slow cooking. I don't want to wait 5 hours because I don't have it and I don't think ahead that often. It doesn't thrill me either. Usually the 5 hour cooking, you let it sit. I want to play with my food for a half an hour. I want to stir it.
Right.
You know, even when Lauren's cooking, I'm like, can I just stir something?
Right.
Can I chop something for
do
you?
need anything chopped?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to work with the food. So baking is not interesting to me. I don't want to measure anything.
Ooh, baking is science. And science is
bake.
hard.
It
and
is.
I'm not good at science.
Utensils, you need the right size.
Right, you got to have more than one measuring cup.
Yeah.
I have one measuring cup.
Yeah, nothing. And the spoons, the different spoons. No. Okay, so I really like making the simplest food. I really, my menu comes off of Rachel Ray's ideas. So,
okay.
I like to make steak, even though I said it grosses me out a little bit.
Yeah.
You put a little soy sauce, a little thyme. You let that marinate for an hour.
Soy sauce and thyme.
People think you're a genius. Try this.
All
Seriously,
right.
people
Okay.
think, and it's with the cheapest cut of meat, a flank steak.
Okay.
And you just have to cut it right. If you don't cut it right, it's chewy. Oh, so by the way, here's what
Are
I
you
do.
butchering your own foods?
No.
Or how do you? What is flank steak?
Flank steak has to be cut a certain way. So you see the lines that run through it?
Yeah.
You have to cut what's called against the grain.
Against the grain.
Yeah. Otherwise,
Okay.
if you cut with the grain, the meat turns into this whole different chewing experience and it's too chewy.
So when you eat it, you cut against the grain.
I cut it for the people that I'm serving it for so that.
Oh, do you
they
do
don't-
medallion kind of situation? or-
Just sort of slivers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after that, you can cut it whatever way. It's not going to
Yeah.
be such a big deal.
Okay.
But to not.
And do you marinate it with it once it's cut?
No,
Or
you marinate it
whole?
before.
You
Yeah,
marinate it whole.
You take the big slab of meat, which you
Nice.
can get for $20 that feeds about at least 4 people.
Right.
With sides, you can stretch it to 6,
Yeah.
8 people. Great for, Mexican, like fajitas and things like that. I
Sure.
mean, this is the kind of thing that can stretch a lot. So you do that, rosemary potatoes, maybe bruschetta to start.
Okay.
I always like to have a salad or,
Yeah.
vegetable. I like to have that all American starch, meat, and vegetable. That's
Right.
my ideal plate, no matter what it is, whether it's fish or,
Yeah.
whatever starch. So I cook like that. Oh, and so here's one of the obnoxious things because I watch the Food Network too much.
Right.
I thought everybody knows cut against the grain. And I have this, just common knowledge. I just caught up with the rest of the world. Not so much. And I'm obnoxious about it. So the other day, I'm having lunch with my co-host, Keith, in between some of the stuff that we were doing. And he orders a steak salad. I noticed it's flank steak and I noticed it's undercooked, but it's not, it's also seared wrong.
Oh,
and so,
nice.
Yeah.
No, good eye. Good eye.
So he drops, he's sitting in front before he takes, actually, while he's eating, I go, you know why your steak doesn't taste as good as you wanted it to? Because the pan was not hot enough before, or the pan or the grill or whatever it was not hot enough before they put it in there. And he goes, is that why? Because
Oh, was he sincere though? He
Yeah.
wasn't being sarcastic at
he
all?
wasn't.
You are the best friends then, because for him not to go, really, why would you want to point out that I'm not enjoying this quite as much as you think I am?
I know.
But he was totally honest. He's like, oh, that's exactly why.
There's no one would enjoy that. By the way, at the end of my little speech, I go, and I know I'm an asshole and I know I'm the worst. Okay, enjoy your food.
Do what you can. Do what you can to enjoy what's left of your food.
Look, steak is one of the hardest things to fuck up.
Yeah.
Because steak is one of the most forgiving things because you can't, aside from like severely undercooking or overcooking, it still could be fixed.
Right.
That's how I feel. If you overcook it, you can make a sauce out of the pan drippings and, maybe people will forgive you. If you undercook it, you could simmer it for a little while in its own juices.
Yeah.
It's, again, it's not going to be, what you expected
Ideal,
it to be.
but, I mean,
but you can
kind of fix it.
You can fuss with it.
You know what happens? At least once during every fucking episode.
We hear how popular you are.
I hear that things are happening. Caller, whatever.
A house phone.
Yeah, we have a landline. It's very glamorous. I'm going to take this moment to go get some more coffee. Do you want to tell a story while I do that?
Oh, sure.
Tell what else do you like to cook? Welcome to my home.
I really want to come back here when all of her vegetables and her herbs grow, and I want to take that stuff and make her the best food ever. And then take the leftovers home. And when she's not looking, take some of the tomatoes too. Don't tell her.
When I'm editing this.
Oh, what is going on?
Oh,
what is happening?
Busted. I have to say that a lot of things are happening in Van Nuys. We've had the garbage truck go by, and now there's sirens. We're a bit of a helicopter test area for the police.
You're
for some
just not
reason.
Boring. You know?
We are not boring.
We talked about a garden. That doesn't mean that you're just, Susie Homemaker.
Susie Homemaker. That's the weird thing is I do like slow food. The fiddlier it is, the more interested I am because it stops the voices. It's one of the things. And, so like I'll marinate something. I'll chop like a million. I made this, very fiddly pork stew.
Fiddly.
Yeah.
Well, I never heard that word before.
Well,
when you fiddle with things?
Yeah, it's just fiddle and diddle. You spend a long time chopping things and searing
diddled. I don't know if I fiddled.
Ooh, hello. Welcome to the show. It got a little racy on minute 30. And but it's, because there's so much, you have to sear the meat and then you move the meat to another pan. Then in those juices, you have to saute the vegetables.
Delish.
And then you have to move those vegetables and then you put the meat and the vegetables back in and you create a sauce and I don't actually like a sauce. I've never enjoyed a sauce.
Sauces are my favorite.
You love a
thing.
sauce?
I will, when I'm thinking, what do I want? I'm thinking, what sauce do I want sometimes?
Interesting.
How do I get a sauce in my food? Tomato sauce, again.
Again?
Yes, again. Any sauce. Oh my God. And I learned to like white sauce, which I didn't really.
There's no tomatoes in a white sauce.
I prefer a pink sauce.
You've heard, yeah. Something with some tomatoes in it.
Yeah.
White sauce is just dairy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's dairy, fat, very flour, butter, dairy, more dairy, and then add a stick of butter at the end.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, the thing is there's probably nothing that's going to taste any better than that because that's amazing. There's a stick of butter involved.
Well, you stick steak in that.
And then you stick some steak in that?
There you go.
Oh, wow.
Well, I mean, you could make a sauce for steak based off of that white sauce, make it brown because of the pan drippings.
Right.
So
there you go.
Yeah. Little mushroom.
Oh, yeah. I love a mushroom. What are your favorite vegetables to cook with?
I'm thinking all of them. I guess I rarely use celery, but celery for me is good in soups and stuff.
Like a stocky kind of thing, or
yeah. But I like celery and I forget, But nightshades are good for me.
Oh yeah.
Peppers, tomatoes, eggplants are good. Mm-hmm. I don't cook that much with eggplants because eggplants take more care. You need to, if you're really doing it right, you need to put salt on them, let them sit for an hour, drain, and then you get the bitterness out of it. And because I don't like to do that.
Right, you don't want to wait.
Yeah, when I watch the Food Network, they take out this, these large pans that they, baking pans, they line up their eggplant slivers on two large things that if I were to try to clean that later, it's such a bitch. And that's not even part of the cooking process. That's part of the marinating process. No, I could marinate meat because I throw it in a bag, I throw everything in there, and I shove it in the fridge.
Right.
But to lay everything out and to wash these dishes just because you're letting the negative juice drink out of your eggplant. No, goodbye. No.
Wow. That seems like someone's trying to torture you.
Yeah.
Why would I have to wait for that? That doesn't seem any part of a good time. What about, there's an excellent Israeli restaurant actually that's right by my comic book store. Earth 2 Comics is sponsoring the show this month.
Nice. And
right next to it is a Israeli restaurant that's excellent called Toast.
Toast. I think I have been there.
It's it's essentially in between Kester and Sepulveda on Ventura, right? There's like 3 restaurants right next to Earth 2, and one of them is on the corner, and it used to just be a coffee shop and yogurt place, and now it's an Israeli restaurant.
Falafels type stuff, or no?
No. It seems to be super fresh. They do. I think they have that egg and tomato thing.
They must. Yeah. Well, if they have breakfast, not must because you need to have the pans for it.
Yeah, and they also do a like a kind of a flatbready pizza.
Of course they do.
Yeah. Of course they do. Why wouldn't they?
Them and the Greeks.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
they're like, we have all this pita.
we got to do
shove
something.
some stuff on it and throw it in the
Americans late it.
Yeah,
it'll be
totally.
Fun.
But Israeli, I don't want to be a stereotype, but Israeli is one of my favorite foods because It's all fresh. Everything that you see on your plate, you can identify whether it's elaborate or not. It's, and you said you don't like sauces. I don't know that they use sauces so much.
They don't use sauces.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's just like I had it was a couscous tabbouleh. And nothing wrong with that. I enjoy grains a great deal. I like all different kinds of grains. I like rice. I like barley. I like quinoa. I like couscous. I like bulgur. And I like barley. Did I say that already? Whatever. But I like a lot of grains. I don't like potatoes are fine, but they're not my go-to.
See,
they're not my.
If you ask me, it's a potato every time.
It's a potato, really?
Every single time. You
hash browns and.
Oh God. I just came. Okay. Because they don't make hash browns anymore. They only make home fries. And when I was growing up, it was hash browns all around, and only the fancy places were giving home fries. So it was a fun change when you went out or something, to like a nicer place. Now it's only home fries, and I know it's because it's much harder to make hash browns.
It's a lot harder to make because you got to shred them.
You got to shred them, you got to drain them.
And then you got to drain them. Yeah. And then talk about fiddly. I like to make hash browns, quite honestly, but you need a big enough pan.
Can I come over when you're cooking?
Yes.
Why am I coming over for microphone time?
Right, microphone time with cashews. That's not as much fun.
Throw that in a pan. Add a sauce.
I
can help. What do you want me to chop?
Okay, right. You will like to stir something at this time.
Chopping.
Do you? It's not my favorite part. I also like a winter squash. Do you ever do a winter squash?
I never do it because I don't know any recipes off the top of my head for it, but I'll eat the hell out of it.
You don't even need a recipe because here's the thing about a winter squash. People do too much to them. Like an acorn squash, someone will cut it in half. And that's fine. And then you can bake it. Right now, actually, here in October, we are in summer squash season, which can take the place of pasta if you were trying to stay away from
I haven't tried that yet. I really want to. The spaghetti squash?
Spaghetti, that's what I mean. Spaghetti squash. It is in season as we speak.
You're talking porn to me right now, right?
Right.
This is very unfair.
This is a dorkdom. This is because I'm a bit of a food dork myself. And Andy's I never had this spaghetti squash as pasta before.
Does it taste like pasta?
No, it doesn't taste like pasta. It tastes like, it looks like pasta.
What about the consistency? Because that's the most important part. It is the
it's
consistency
fine.
of pasta? Because then I can deal.
Yeah, it's fine.
That would be good with, I guess, an eggplant sauce.
And here's the other thing. I don't much like pasta.
Oh, God, that is I hate you.
Right. How can I not like potatoes and pasta and still weigh 1,000,000 pounds? I have no idea.
She does not weigh 1,000,000 pounds.
It's fine. There's nothing to be done, except for exercise and, eating less chicken, I imagine. Cause the thing is you were talking about how, cause I have a trigger food and it is chicken.
That's not so bad though, is it?
I bake a chicken. Well, if you bake a chicken and then eat it, that's a lot of chicken.
I have trouble with portions. I don't have trouble with the kind of food that I eat, but I have trouble with portions. Like,
right.
I just named some foods. I mean, give me a good salad, with a good piece of fish. I am in heaven. But if you give me 2 pieces of fish and a large bowl of salad, I guess that's my portion. It's going in. I don't know where I put it. Please come out.
What kind of fish do you make? I don't make fish.
Fish is so easy.
Though.
The kinds of fish that I make, again, the easiest kind of fish. So
trout.
I make salmon and catfish. So,
okay.
And salmon's my go-to because salmon is the easiest thing you can ever make. So, and I don't have to dirty a dish. Aluminum foil. This will be my show on the Food Network. Yeah. Don't dirty any dishes.
Don't dirty any dishes. You live in a tiny space.
Yeah, it's called my Food Network show is called I Don't Have a Dishwasher. Stop it. So aluminum foil. Put the piece of salmon on there. Squeeze a lot of lemon on it. Salt, pepper. The end. You put it in 350.
Salt, pepper, a boatload of lemon, and that's it.
That's it. It is moist and juicy. Don't cook it all the way through. I like it pretty rare, but if the only thing you can do wrong is cook it way too much. If you're cooking it for more than 20 minutes, you're wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
So try 10 minutes and then look at it.
Why not? I mean, it sucks to open it and reclose it.
But it'll take a couple of tries to figure out how to do it.
10 minutes is probably too soon, but depending
12,
on the cut.
14.
I think at 15 minutes, if you want to take it out, you could feel pretty good about yourself.
Okay. And then you look at it and go, oh, I'm not going to eat that. And then you put it back in.
Yeah.
And then you're fine.
Yeah, I'm sure that a chef would tell you not to do that because they don't like taking things out of the oven.
Right, it's like looking at the rice when it's cooking.
Yeah.
For some reason, you're like, well, why don't you make a lid that's see-through then? What about that?
I need to stare at the food while it's cooking.
Exactly.
I need to taste it as I go. I'm more than likely I'm full by the end of cooking.
Then a plate full of food shows up.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah.
Here's my salad problem. Cause you moved to Los Angeles, and when you moved to it is on the wind. Hey, order the salad. You don't want fries with that. You want a salad with that.
That is the hardest decision every time. It
isn't for me. I could give a shit about fries. No, I don't know what I'm eating then. But because Andy Ashcraft, my loved one, has turned me on, because I used to do a joke about how when I first moved here, I went to my first Hollywood party and some woman came up to me and she said, Jackie, there's cake. Of course you'll want a piece of cake.
What the hell?
It was a lot. And I said, no, cake is not my downfall. I am not retaining excess cake. I am retaining chicken. If you have any chicken back there, I'm into it.
Yeah, and isn't that funny? Yeah, as much as, when you said the chocolate is here,
yeah.
I could eat that whole bowl of nuts.
And these are Dove dark chocolates, by the way. And I opened one, and it's got a dark promise. And you have to read the dark promise in a dark voice. But the printing was crummy on these. Those who bring sunshine to the lives of others cannot keep it from themselves. Love, Dove. That is actually one of the greatest dark promises I think I've ever read.
Oh my God, that was awesome.
Thank you. People say I can't act. I can act. So
you were saying you were here.
Andy Ashcraft loves pie. And I've only enjoyed pumpkin pie.
Not a fan.
Because it was the only one because my mother never cooked. She was not good at cooking. She didn't enjoy it. And so she was purposely kind of bad at it. And she was like, just eat it. It'll be fine.
I wonder can you be a good cook if you don't like it?
She could, because there were 3 things she made very, very well. She made a roast chicken, which is possibly one of the reasons why I like chicken. A pilaf. She makes a really good pilaf because she lived with my grandmother for a year. My mother died. And my stepmother moved in with my grandmother like a week later. So for the year of mourning, because for some reason, South Milwaukee, Wisconsin is, the old country. And you can't get married even though you're separated for 3 years, immediately. So my stepmother lived.
Is that true?
It was true in South Milwaukee in 1972. So, my stepmother, that had to be the weirdest year of her life where she lived with my grandmother.
Who chose to do this?
I very much doubt it was Nancy Kashian. I'm pretty sure it was, we don't want to rent another apartment. And then, because my dad had to move in with us because my mother was dead. And,
wow.
Yeah. And so my father, there was the 6 of us. And so my father moves back in with us, and
with who? You and your husband?
No, with me and my brothers and sister.
They were divorced.
Right. They were separated, never divorced, because she was Catholic and he was Armenian, and heaven forfend that something that is clearly not working be terminated. So they separated in 1969. In 1972, she dies. And my father has been dating for 2 years.
Okay.
This woman, Nancy, that he never tells he has 6 children to.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Rangers of the Dork Forest have heard the tale before, but yes. And then it's the greatest story in the world. My mother died last year, my stepmother, and but it was the greatest story about how he just came and he was like, "Yeah, my wife died, so I get all the kids back," and she knew he was married, and she was okay with that for some weirdo, horrible reason. But the thing is, she didn't know he had. And she knew he had 1 kid. She didn't know he had 6 children. And I wish I could have been.
That is such big math.
So big.
Oh my God.
And then she married him? Nope. That is the best reason never to take advice about men from one Nancy Kashian. Wow. That is reason number 112 to not take. Reason number 1 is that she went out with my dad, who I love dearly, but is not boyfriend material. And
that's a very cute way of saying
he's not husband material. He is hang out and have coffee material. That is my dad. He's really good time, very smart. He's a guy to get financial advice from to some extent, with a grain of salt, because he wants you to win, because he wants everyone to win.
All right, take what you like, leave the rest.
That's
very
very much so. That is the way you should go with my dad.
Therapy, everybody.
Right, everyone, exactly. See the similarities, not the differences. and so it came to pass.
Good one.
Excellent. And so, yes. So, but the thing is, so she could make roast chicken that was great, and then my grandmother taught her how to make pilaf, and she made a really good chicken cacciatore, which her mother had made.
That sounds good, but I never know what that is.
It's a red sauce with pasta, which you would like.
In pasta, in.
Right? And then chicken. Not as much. I bet you you could make it. Hey, guess what? Another phone is going off, but you can't really hear it. Is it in there? Is that you? Oh, it's me. I'm going to ignore that one. It's probably my brother Russ to tell me what he's watching on television.
Nice.
Because he likes to let me in on it.
That's cute.
It is adorable.
That's fun.
It is.
It's adorable. Are we allowed to use that word?
Adorable. Please pass it on. And Bossy Magoo. Do it. And Chatty Magoo. I'm thinking of doing a series of children's books based on the Magoo family. Anyway, so let's talk about another food. So what meats do you like besides steak and fish? Just those mostly?
Yeah, because I'm not a pork fan. Mm-hmm. I don't like bacon. For the first time a couple months ago.
Bacon.
Yeah, I didn't grow up with
gutsy stuff, of course, right?
I don't tend to say that out loud because people just don't
they
trust
think it's
you.
Religious, and they're just like, "Oh, is that what it is?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "No, I just actually don't enjoy it."
Yeah, I'm an atheist. I don't give a fuck what God says about the bacon.
Right. And it seemed like an interesting choice at the time. Do whatever you need to do.
But you know what's funny about bacon lovers, which is the whole world? They don't let me not like bacon. They tell me straight up I'm wrong.
Right.
They make me try, they try to make me try it. I'm not interested.
Proselytizing is not okay for most foods.
But here's the thing. Bacon is what people try not to eat.
Right, it isn't good for you.
It clogs your arteries.
Right.
There's nothing positive about bacon. And then they go with the protein. Okay, I think I could find my protein.
You know what's worse? Sausage. Bacon is actually better than sausage. As far as how much fat is trapped in it.
Because I recently started liking a couple sausages.
Well, there's nothing,
I'll try not to order it because it's like 10 grams of fat in just, a finger size of.
Oh, like a breakfast link? But the weird thing is the way I've been trying to think about food, because we're told all the time that we're supposed to eat healthier and we're supposed to do this and we're not supposed to eat carbs and we're not supposed to eat fats and we're just supposed to eat all raw foods or all slow foods or all fiber and no meat. And Aaron Foley, one of my favorite comics, has a great joke about how the saddest book in the world is Vegan Cooking for One. And so, I just think that we should just eat. My biggest thing is what I would love for myself is to just eat the things that I'd like to eat and just in moderation.
Yeah. Moderation would change my life.
Would change my life.
Yes.
And like but Andy bought potato chips about a week ago and he was like, I felt like some potato chips. And I'm like, did you?
Yeah. So then you buy it? Is that how that goes?
Is that how that goes? And then you bring it into the house?
Yeah. I feel like potato chips all the time. Do I buy it? No.
No, on purpose. Because, we sound crazy.
Yeah.
Because we micromanage our food thought. Because one of the things I loved about Weight Watchers is that you could think about food all the time.
Okay, I already have that going.
Right, because you're supposed to write down everything you eat.
That drives me crazy, but I know I should.
Well, because then you're aware of everything that you've eaten.
And so is the whole Weight Watchers team.
Right, which and you have to when I went to Weight Watchers and when you move to Los Angeles, you lose weight. You lose weight because it's on the wind.
But New York also, because you're walking more and it's a very active atmosphere.
Right. That's when you lose weight in New York is because you're constantly moving.
But except for, in the winter, people put on a little bit because it's just so cold. They're not as much outside. But as soon as the temperature changes, the sidewalk's packed.
Right.
Yeah.
My thing about living in New York is I would have to have a doorman building and enough money to take cabs. I would have to be God. Is what it would be. It's a great Woody Allen joke from the 12th century about waiting for Godot. Anyway, find it in your published works, people. And it's so. I mean, I just wish there was a way that I wasn't obsessed about food to some extent.
Yeah.
It's the kind of dorkdom that you wish it were more open and mellow, but it's the dork forest. You get to be weirdly obsessed about the things you're weirdly obsessed about.
I am an addict. Mm-hmm. I am an addict. You can't possibly think about something that much if you're not an addict. You can't be full and keep eating if you're not an addict. What else is there? I know I self-diagnosed myself. I'm not 1,000,000 pounds, No. I'm a reasonable weight.
No, you actually look very healthy, and it's not, I mean, you're not fucked up skinny, but.
No, and I never will be. It is impossible. It's not my cards. I would like to lose some weight. I'd like to get more fit. And I run a little bit, I try to balance.
Do you do a little exercise, do you?
Yeah.
I spent 3 years exercising like a crazy person.
Yeah.
And it didn't really do much. 20 pounds, right? And then I was like, and then I hurt my knee. And so I stopped doing it. And I was like, it's not worth 20 pounds to me. I wish I could just eat less. And it's just, I genuinely think to myself, if I'm not going to be Kate Moss, why would I beat myself up like this? And so it isn't healthy either, because I should do something just for my heart.
Just to move the parts around. Yes. Yeah. The thing is I don't like going to do the exercise, but I actually don't mind it while it's happening. I like being active. I don't like putting on exercise clothes and being active. So the problem is I used to be naturally active because I was running around doing a lot of things. I was just generally like going to clubs and dancing and things like that. Now I have to make effort to make my life active, and that's what bums me out.
Right, because it's a lot harder. And
and I have a computer now. I swear to God, as soon as I got the computer, the weight was harder to manage.
Well, that's, we were talking the other night, and we have dinner, and then we're like, well, do you want to watch? The television is never on. We have to plan to watch television because he can't multitask. And
I can't either.
It's fine.
If your television was on, even on mute, I wouldn't be able to look you in the eye because it's right behind you and there's moving things.
That's exactly what he's like.
That's
exactly what Andy's like. And that's fine, because I mean, it means that he's good at one thing at a time. And so we plan to do things, and then we never do them. Like, we're going to plan, we're going to do something. Let's go for a walk. Let's watch a movie. Let's watch some shitty television. Let's do something. And then we both sit down at our computers, and then it's 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And because you go down a rabbit hole of YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. And
the work that you have to do, the workload on a computer.
Work.
Yeah. Yeah, and Lauren and I have to make boundaries because of that. So one of Lauren's things is after midnight, please don't use your phone. And how do you argue that? No, I have to.
I have to call somebody. It's 12:30 in the morning.
Yeah. But it's, and who's calling? I'm not calling anyone.
Right.
I'm not, but I check my things. I check stats. I check my email.
Right.
Why? I don't want to answer it.
Right.
I'm just checking on it. And, I can't argue because I've been on devices all day.
Yeah.
It's a reasonable request. And we make sure that, when we have, Lauren's an actor. It's also a hectic schedule. You have 2 artists in the family. It's bananas. So we make sure we share a calendar. And if we see an open space where both of us have not agreed to do anything with other people, we say that's date day.
Yeah.
If you can avoid,
Try not to book anything unless there's money involved.
Yeah. Unless it's a big opportunity.
Yeah.
But don't, move your friend that day. He had a window. Mm-hmm. It's a week before.
Let's go stare deeply into each other's eyes. Some sort of thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's cool.
Yeah. And once a year, just Lauren and I, we go camping. Just the 2 of us.
Outdoors?
Love the outdoors.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Do you have a tent?
We have a tent. We now have a canopy. Every year we get an extra thing.
We're at a new trinket for the outdoor. Do you have do you outdoor cook?
Oh God, I love it.
All right. Well, we are at an hour, so tell me the tale of outdoor cooking.
It takes all day to cook when you're camping, but
Why?
that I don't mind.
Why?
Well, because the utensils are not there, the washing devices are not there, so the prep time is longer. You got to build the fire. It's old school.
Do you know how to build a fire?
I mean, we're buying wood. You know what I mean? We
buy kindling.
We have that Everlast thing, but we learned you gather some leaves, you gather little sticks, you make that happen first, then you build the thing, you know? Yeah.
And then do you have like a little grill thing you put on top of it, or what do you?
Campsites usually have that.
Okay.
So you just close the grate on your campfire and you throw some stuff on there, and it's delicious because my favorite is barbecue. Like my favorite is food right on a fire. So here it is.
Over wood. You've cooked food over wood. Do you cook fish? Do you cook
We try to keep it a little simpler. A lot of vegetables, a lot of grilled vegetables, which is one of my favorites. We actually bring a pot. We make couscous.
Okay.
Because it's easy. Because you just boil water.
All you need is water.
So there's that. We keep it to easy things. And then at that point, I could eat chicken because it's grilled. Yep. Fried chicken is good for me. Like I could do that, but who can't? So just simple things.
Right. You keep it simple, and then and so can you grill in Queens?
Yeah.
'Cause you can have a little Smoky Joe or something on
I have a little balcony. Yeah. So I when it's winter, I just open the door. The barbecue's right there, and I'm inside. The barbecue's outside. It's a thrill.
That is awesome. Chemda.
Yeah.
I say this. This has been lovely.
It has been. Thank you so much.
This has been a very mellow, and I've learned a little bit about myself, quite honestly, because it's so hard. So Keith and the Girl is keithandthegirl.com, probably.
Yeah. It's a podcast. We've been going since 2005, from before people knew podcasts as a cool thing.
I started in 2006, ground floor of podcasting.
Yeah.
Too bad it's not as profitable as ground floor of plastics. That's what I always say. But so Keith and the Girl, it's on iTunes, and it's got you got a website that'll point you to all the different things that happen.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Well, and Keith's going to be on the next episode. He's coming over to the house right now.
He's fun.
Rangers of the Dork Forest, you've chosen wisely. I've had a lovely time. Thank you so much for doing the show. Take care out there. Bye. Well, that show was awesome. Let's do the credits. Patrick Brady, he fixes the audio every week. He also does the teaser videos on YouTube. So Patrick Brady is an awesome guy, and I thank him for his work. Mike Rickberg sang the song you heard at the beginning, composed and sang it with his girlfriend Sarah. He's going to sing in about a heartbeat for the Mexican hat dance. And Vilmos fixes my website, JackieCashian.com. So support him and his work. Thanks a lot, you guys. Take care out there. Bye.
My hat, my hat, my hat. They're dancing around my hat. My hat, my hat, my hat. Well, what do you think of that? If it looks like a Mexican hat dance and it sounds like a Mexican hat dance, it's most likely a Mexican hat dance. So take off your hat and let's dance.
Yay! Oh my God. Why don't we just call that as the end of the show?